So Howard Schitz was asked about his position on Medicare for All and on healthcare, and he proceeded to incoherently babble, contradict himself, make no sense, and expose how he has never really thought about this for more than 5 minutes.
Hello. So I'm wondering, what is your view on Medicare for All? More specifically, what is your plan to improve our healthcare system?
Again, thank you for the question, and I think this gives me another opportunity to talk about the extreme left and the extreme right. And so we have a healthcare crisis in the country on many levels, not the least of which is the opioid crisis. But the Republicans, for 10 years, 8 years during the Obama presidency and the last 2 years, have done everything possible to eradicate the Affordable Care Act. And they've done that without offering any plan. This is the far right. The far left is now suggesting Medicare for all. That is a $32 trillion number. And just like the issue I brought up before about making all the buildings in America energy free in terms of clean energy, does anyone here really understand that Medicare for all also means that you will lose the choice of your doctor and your private insurance company? Not many people know that. So that would disrupt the entire system, and it'll cost $32 trillion.
So, Mr. Schultz, to that question, and because your question, Rio, was about what's your plan, and many, I think, wonder, is it fair to criticize the left and the right? What is your plan to make sure that if it's not Medicare for all, what is your plan to make sure that every American can get quality, affordable health care?
First and foremost, three principles. One, I think everyone in America, every person deserves to have the right for affordable care. Every person. Second, there needs to be competition in the system. And what I mean by that is competition so that the American people can get access to prescription drugs at lower prices, because right now the government is not allowed under a federal law to negotiate with pharma. The third thing is that it has been tested but not proven yet about interstate commerce among insurance companies. But there's no doubt that, once again, the healthcare crisis has been with us for a long time. The other issue is I stand by the fact that I supported the Affordable Care Act. It covered 20 million people who did not have good insurance, but premiums have gone up double since the Affordable Care Act. So now we got to go back in and fix the Affordable Care Act and bring premiums down. Competition will do that. But the far right, remove...
How? The question is how.
Yeah.
I don't mean to startle you from the back.
No.
The voice over your shoulder over here. But how specifically? Because I think so many people here hear that. But they say that is what Congress has been trying to do or talking about doing
You're wrong.
for so long.
Respectfully, it's not what Congress has been trying to do. What Congress has tried to do is, on the far right, eradicate the Affordable Care Act, and now on the far left, bring up Medicare for all.
Okay, so that was a fucking dumpster fire and a complete disaster. Now, before I get into the specifics of responding to his points here, to the extent that you can ascertain that he has any points, just understand something. The thing about Howard Schultz that keeps popping up in my mind is this basic point. He's so obnoxious because he fancies himself like the savior coming to rescue the country from the evil billionaire, Donald Trump. And he thinks, I'm the good billionaire, and I'm going to ride in on my white horse and fix the country. But the reason why that's so arrogant and so wrong and just insufferable is that he actually perfectly represents the mindset and philosophy that gave us Donald Trump in the first place. So Donald Trump was a fake populist. That's why he got elected. One of the main reasons why he got elected. Of course, there are other factors and other massive factors, in fact, but he was able to win the Rust Belt, and the main reason he won the Rust Belt was because of his economic populism. I'm not going to ship your jobs overseas. I hate NAFTA. I hate TPP, so on and so forth. What is Howard Schultz? To sum him up in one word, elitist. That's his philosophy. So he represents the neoliberal centrist world order that gave us Trump in the first place. You have somebody who comes along who says, I'm a civilized man. I'm not a Neanderthal barbarian like these people on the right. So I, for one, do not hate black people. Oh, gay people. Oh, wow, Howard. How fucking incredible you are. That's such a fucking low bar. Duh. I file that under duh. That's the most obvious thing ever. Yes, treat black people, gay people, and everybody equally and give them justice and support things like anti-discrimination protections and support things like, in the case of gay people, support gay marriage, which again is a no-brainer. But like he uses that, and that's his progressive credentials is like, me, I'm very cosmopolitan, yes. But then on economics, standard neoliberal hack, standard establishment hack. Oh, competition is good. We should probably, deregulate Wall Street, and big business is good. And it's this, he is Hillary Clinton rebranded. Like, that's what he is. Except he's maybe a little more honest than Hillary Clinton. But that's what he is. And he's been doing this shtick. It's so funny because he keeps portraying himself as an outsider. Like, he has far left and far right, Democrats, Republicans. Where's the rest of the country going to go, bro? You're not an outsider. You are the embodiment of the establishment. Just because you want to run as an independent and still embody the philosophy of the establishment doesn't change anything. The only thing it changes is that you're not going to fucking win or come even close to winning, and you're going to chip away 2% and then maybe help Donald Trump in the process. So just because you're running outside the two-party system does not mean you're actually representing a philosophy that's rogue, because it's not. It's utterly predictable. Okay, now, first and foremost, he loves to do extreme left and extreme right. By the way, just picking the midpoint between two things is not by definition correct. And I need everybody to stop with this lazy-ass fallacy. I see it all over the place, all the fucking time, endlessly, and it drives me nuts every single time. That's like the lazy man's attempt at being an intellectual. Like, me, bro? I see some people over here. I see some people over there. And you know what I say, bro? Here's what I say. What about the middle point? Oh, man. That was genius. Is there a giant theorem you could show me on a blackboard that demonstrates how you got to this incredible position of logic and reason? It's just so stupid. It's like, and to illustrate that point, think of it when it comes to evolution. On this side, you have evolution. On the other side, you have a wizard in space created everything. Me? I think maybe a wizard oversaw evolution. Well, congratulations, then you're a fucking dipshit. Okay, so in the case of healthcare, another clear example, the far right's position is, Alan Grayson got in trouble when he said it, if you get sick, die quickly. Which is kind of true, because they don't want to have to, the insurance companies have to spend a lot of money to save people. But the actual position is, keep the free market in place, have a capitalist system, so you have a for-profit, unnecessary middleman, the insurance companies. Their business model is to deny care as much as possible because that's how they make their profit and that's how they please their shareholders. So their approach to it is, we love capitalism and get rid of the lines around the states in order to incentivize competition. And in reality, by the way, that's just a tax avoidance scheme. What happens is all the insurance companies will set up shop in a state with the lowest taxes so they can make more money. And that usually that's Delaware. Delaware has a lot of corporations there for that exact reason. And that's what they would end up doing. So it has nothing to do with actually fixing the system. It has to do with saving these insurance companies more money, giving them more money so they can have more profit. And Howard Schultz falls right into it and acts like, oh, that's the solution is competition. You have the extreme left and the extreme right. The extreme left wants to do what the rest of the developed world does, and what they've proven is way better than our shitty-ass system, how they cover everybody and pay like half the amount and they have better health outcomes. The crazy left wants to do the thing that is like better. And then the right, their philosophy is let's keep 30 million people uninsured and let's keep our capitalist system in place. And you have these extremes, and I'm in the middle point. Howard, the middle point was Obamacare, you fucking jackass. God, he's so stupid. Then he goes on, same scaremonger talking points, and I now am on a personal jihad against every fucking journalist and reporter who does not call this out immediately whenever somebody says it, but, oh, it costs $32 trillion. How are you going to pay for it? Can you guys please do your fucking homework and correct them and state very clearly, yeah, it costs $32 trillion. If you didn't have it, it would cost $37 trillion. So you're saving $5 trillion, according to the University of Massachusetts Amherst, a study they did. You're saving $5 trillion when you do Medicare for all. Every journalist or reporter who does not point that out when somebody brings up that $32 trillion number, every single one of them is doing journalistic malpractice and is horrendously bad at their job. Oh, it costs $32 trillion, even though it would save us money. I'm not going to bring that part up. And then he goes on, you're going to lose the choice of your doctor and your private insurance company. Oh, not my private insurance company. Who will think of Aetna executives? Dude, you're such a joke. Okay, listen. Medicare for all, it does not abolish private insurance companies. You can get supplemental private insurance if you'd like. Okay? You can get it. But the default is everybody's covered. Everybody's covered, and it's free at the point of service, so if you get sick, you get help, and you don't have to pay anything. That's better. That's absolutely better. And he says you lose choice of your doctor. No, that's not true. It's the same as, like, the system we have now. I have lost my doctor repeatedly because of my fucking insurance companies. Like, I've been with a bunch of different insurance companies, and every time I got to change my insurance company this time. The price on this one is now too high. I go for a new insurance company, and I'm like, okay, I want to keep going to my doctor. They're like, oh, we don't cover there. They're not in our network. So everything that they accuse, Medicare for all or single payer of being bad on, it's what the private system is bad on. Again, such a joke. Then notice he says, now let's get directly to his plan. Okay, his plan was a lack of a plan. He said, number one, I think you have a right to affordable care. They keep adding the weasel words. I think everybody should have universal access to affordable care. Here's how you know somebody's not a bullshitter. When they say, I support Medicare for all. Full stop. Or I support single-payer healthcare. Full stop. Those are the people who are not bullshitting you. The people who are bullshitting you will use the word access and affordable. Because what that means is, I just think you should be able to go to the doctor. Okay. And what affordable means is, I still want you to pay at the point of service, but I want it to be less expensive at the point of service. That's another bullshit half measure, man, and the price will go right back up. You have to make it so it is free at the point of service. That's what Medicare for all is. So he says, I believe in a right to affordable care. Yeah, so you still want people to pay out of pocket and do it at the point of access. And by the way, affordable is fucking subjective. What's affordable to Howard Schultz is certainly not affordable to 99.9% of Americans. So, weasel words 101. And the second point is competition. We have a for-profit free market system right now. That's the heart of our system. How's everything going? Horrendously bad. We're 11 out of 11 when it comes to developed countries in our healthcare system. That's the Commonwealth Fund, a study that came out a few years ago. So competition doesn't solve Dickie McGee's Act when it comes to healthcare. Then his third point is interstate commerce. That's the remove the lines around the states argument, which again, I just told you is a tax avoidance scam. That has nothing to do with actually fixing the healthcare system. It has to do with helping the profits of the for-profit health insurance companies. And then finally, he finishes with, I support the ACA and we should just fix it. So I support Obamacare, but we should just fix it. He's the definition of a neoliberal centrist, trying to put Band-Aids over gaping gangrenous wounds. That's his philosophy. In other words, it's the same fucking nightmare scenario that got us to where we are right now. And that gets back to my main thesis. As he pretends to be the savior from Donald Trump, he embodies everything about the philosophy that gave us Donald Trump in the first place. And you see it perfectly in his explanation here. All he does is take what has now become the Democratic Party position and the Republican Party position, and he says, why don't we do the middle ground and do both of your shitty ideas? That's literally his argument. Let's take the shitty idea from the right of removing the lines around the states and doing interstate commerce and competition. He takes the right wing's core idea, which again is just a tax avoidance scam, and he says, why don't we do that and mix it with the shitty original right-wing idea, which now the Democratic Party loves, which is Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, which is an individual mandate system. Let's take both of these shitty ideas, which are on the right side of the political spectrum, and find the midpoint between them and do both of those things. So it's like do double the shittiness and embrace the shittiness of both the establishment Democratic Party and the establishment Republican Party. Congratulations, asshole. This is why you're polling at 4%.